While we are in the time people are concerned about diversity visa lottery application or planning to apply or are applying for the diversity visa lottery, I want you to understand what are the responsibilities of a green card holder. What are you expected by the government for you as a green card holder? Anything you have in your life, and especially the one you choose to get something, there are responsibilities. Just like the day you take an oath and you want to become a United States citizen, there are some responsibilities and expectations as a US citizen. The same applies to the green card holder. There are expectations and there are some responsibilities for you once you have a green card. These responsibilities, if you don't follow them clearly, might cause you to go to jail, or some of these one might cause you to be deported or your green card to be revoked. It depends. So I'm going to mention some of the few responsibilities we take for granted, but if it happens to you, you might cry, I didn't know. Ignorance of the law is not the defense of the law. Welcome everyone, this is Ernest Boniface Makulilo, EBM. You are in the right place at the EBM Scholars channel from the headquarters of opportunities here in Belton, Missouri. And before I continue, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. The goal is to have at least 100,000 subscribers. And with your help, we are going to reach that goal soon. So do that right now before we continue. Okay, responsibilities, expectation. Responsibilities is just like when you become 18, when you become 21, when you become whatever, there are expectation and responsibilities you need to know. Number one is filing the tax. When you become a green card holder, just like the United States citizen, must file the income tax returns and report to the Internal Revenue Authority, IRS, on annual basis. I know you can say, oh, even international student must file the tax. I know that. But if international student doesn't live in the United States, doesn't need to file the tax. You graduate, you go back to your country, you don't know to file the tax. But a green card holder, even if that particular full year you haven't lived in America, you are required, it is a must to file the tax. You are permanent of the United States. You're not permanent of Tanzania. You're not permanent of Burundi. So for that particular case, you are supposed and you are required to file the income tax, both the state income tax and the federal, unless otherwise you are from states which don't have state income tax like Florida and Texas and a few other states. But whether you live in America, whether you don't live in America, whether you said, oh, I'm applying for, I'll be out of America for 2 years, you filed for advance parole, that informing the U.S. government will not be here for 2 years. Those 2 years, even if you haven't lived in U.S. even for a single day, you are required, it is a must to file the income tax. Failure to file the income tax, unless otherwise, but you might be in a very deep trouble in the legal part. In the United States, there are things you have to avoid at all. One among the things is not paying tax, not filing tax. That is a very serious problem. Even if you were the president, even if you were a superstar, the guy was Snipes, whatever, the action Hollywood guy, was in prison about a year or 2 years for failing to pay the tax. We saw Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, they had tax problems in Spain, but they didn't go to jail, whatever. But I want you to understand how serious when it comes to the taxing. The taxes are the backbone of the economy of any country. So no joke. you have to file for the tax. Whether you live in America, whether you don't live in America, that is a law, that is a requirement. That is responsibility number one as a green card holder. What you expect to do and what you are required to do by the law. Number two, something people do not know. There is something is called selective service. Selective service is registration if you are a male between the age of 18 to 25. You are required by law to register for the selective service. Selective service is not something happening right now, but I want to give you the logic behind it. During the time, back in the day, when you hear about someone has been drafted to go to the war, to go to the military, it used to be maybe during the Vietnam, during the Korean War, whatever, all those other types of wars. When the military personnel are going, maybe there are a number of, maybe we don't have enough people in the service to go to the war. So for that particular case, the government started the lottery system drafting people. So you can hear your name is a lottery system. So only male between the age of 18 to 25 have to register. There is a selective service website. There is a government website. You have to file for that. That I'm this age and this one. So green card holder between that age are required to register for the selective service. If you are above that age, you are exempted to register. For instance, for my case, I came to the United States at the age of almost about 27. I was 26 going to 27. That's the time I came to America. And I was a green card holder at the age of 29, whatever. I mean, I was already above the age of 25. So I didn't register for that. And I have the letter of exemption. Because there are certain jobs, so federal jobs, you must indicate you select, at one time you register for selective service. Even if now it is 15 years later, you have to indicate you register for selective service. If not, show the exemption you had. So I have the exemption because I became a green card holder after the age, or I came to America after the age of 25. So it didn't apply to me. So since 1973 up to today, there is no any draft. People have never been drafted after the war in 70s. So since 1973 to today, no one has been drafted to join the military so that they can go to war. No one. But still, as a U.S. government, they have active duty personnel, they have reserve, and there are people who are retired who are just as a backup. After that, then there is another bank of people who can save male between 18 and 25 who are ready to be drafted. So that is a requirement. Failure to register for this one, you are in deep trouble. And you might not get this trouble, but you might not get certain opportunities of your life here if you fail to register for selective service. If I had certain federal jobs offers, and one of the requirements I had to show a proof. Without that, I would not be able to be given even the time to interview or to be given the final offer for the jobs. Again, there is this another law. When you get a green card, they give green card into this small piece of envelope, whatever. It's just a small protective. They call protective sleeve. This document contains sensitive electronic for the best performance. Do not bend, whatever, or exposed to extreme temperatures, whatever. So they give you this piece of envelope, whatever, but you can use any other, but make sure that it's not going to be scratchy, because green card, it has some numbers which they can use to put it somewhere and get the information or the data. So you are supposed by law to take your card. This is not a green card again. This is a passport card, but it looks the same. The difference, this is a white, green card is green. That is the only difference. So you have to take this card to have in your wallet, to have it all the time. It's just like if you were a driver. If you sit on the car ready to drive, you must have the driving license, no matter what distance, even if it will be 2 minutes distance, you must have that one. So wherever you get out of your house to go out, by law, I'm talking about the law, I'm not talking about the practice, it's okay. By law, you must have the green card in your possession every single minute. You must have validity. When you say valid green card, after every 10 years, this green card expires. So before it expires, you have to renew. So you have to renew. That means it has to be valid. You have to carry it at all times. Not having a green card in your possession can lead to 30 days in jail. 30 days in jail. So that is another requirement. You have to file for the tax, number 1. Number 2, you have to register for selective service if you are the male at the age of 18 to 25. Doesn't apply for the female. Girls, you are not allowed, even if you are in that group. No, it's just males. You must have the green card in your possession at all times. Failure to have 30 days in jail. People don't work with it. It's, yeah, but if you get caught, that's the law. Another part, you are not allowed to vote in any, especially federal elections. Many people, while they're here, they are excited and they want to vote. Why? When you go to get the state ID or the driving license at the Department of Motor Vehicle, DMV, usually they ask you, do you want to register to vote? They don't ask you, are you a US citizen? For them, they ask you, do you want to register to vote? If you say yes, they register you. They don't need to know any other thing. That is the mistake. So it's your responsibility to tell them, no, I don't want to register because I'm not a US citizen. But if you keep quiet, they are going to register. If you go to the post office to send you a mail at the actual post, they will ask you, are you registered to vote? Do you want to register to vote? Oh, for you, say, yeah, yes, I haven't. They will register for you. So don't, because it's your responsibility to say no. It's not their responsibility. Unfortunately, they take it easy. I mean, they're not forced to determine for you to show your passport or birth certificate if you are born in the US, or to show the naturalization certificate. They don't ask you for those kind of documentation. They just register for you. So if you get excited, oh, I want to take Trump out of the office, I want to take Biden out of the office, it's up to you. If you go and vote, it is a federal big offense, and it leads to your green card to be revoked and get deported back to your own country. Has it happened? Yes, to so many people. There is even a priest from Latin America, from Chicago, was deported back to Latin America. That priest has been here since 1973 and was deported. If you want to vote, get citizenship. There is another grandmother in the 2016 election was deported. 2020 election, people have been deported. And this has nothing to do whether who is the president, whether Republican or Democratic. This is a federal law. Even if myself, I'm there as a president, I'm going to implement it. The law requires you must be a citizen of the country to vote. If you're a citizen of Ghana, vote for Ghana election. If you want to vote for American elections, become a US citizen. Wait your time and become a US citizen. Out of that, you will be deported. That is the responsibility number 4. To say no to vote for a US election. Especially to choose for the governor, mayor, whatever. Unless otherwise that state has a clear law which allows people to vote who are green card holders into the city election to elect the council members. But if there is no that law, you have to be careful. You have to make sure that there is a law. If there's no that law, don't vote in any election. Responsibility number 5. Whenever a green card holder moves from one apartment to another apartment, from one building to another building, from one city to another city, from one country to another country, from one state to another state, when you change the address of where you live, It is your responsibility, and you are required to update your address. You can do it different ways. You can call the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, USCIS. You can call them and say, I've changed the address. There is how to change the address. There is a number you can call, and they can change it for you on the phone. That's number one. Number two, you can go on the website and change. USCIS website, there is a place how to change your address. You can change. You can also send the mail. You can change the address. So there are different ways on how you can change the address. What if you don't change the address within 10 days? Not just change the address. You must change the address of where you live to another location where you have moved to within 10 days of your move. Failure to change the address will lead to deportation. Green card to be revoked, and you will be deported back to your home country. Do people get deported? I haven't seen one. But will you be deported if you get caught? Yes. Why do they require that? I don't know. For the US citizen, if I move, I don't need to change the address to the immigration. They don't care. That is your responsibility. You must be informing, updating the US government wherever you move. If you don't want to update, become a US citizen. So being a green card holder, there are responsibilities you need to know. Number 6. Another responsibility of a green card holder is to know that you are a permanent of the United States of America. You are not permanent of Tanzania. You are not permanent of Uganda. You are not permanent of Rwanda. You are not permanent of England. You are not permanent of Guinea. You are not permanent of Sierra Leone. You are permanent of the United States of America. Meaning, you must be physical in the United States. If you want to go outside of the United States, it's okay. There is no problem. But if you go and live more than 6 months in a row outside of the United States, you must fill the form of informing that you'll be out of the United States for an extended period of time, and you can indicate the time. The form is called advance parole form. So, if you go there and stay 2 years without informing the US government, automatically your green card is expiring, that it's over. But it's not revoked forever. There is a way on how you can get back your green card. That's why if you go to any US embassy, the types of visas, there is one that is called the returning green card holder. That means if you're a green card holder and let's say you are in another country, you stayed more than a year or 2 years, automatically the system is gone. So you have to go back to the US embassy. You apply on a certain type of visa. They will give you another visa to come to US and activate it to get your green card. So you're going to get unnecessary spending a lot of money to get another visa, to get all the other kind of things, and then to come back to America. But why can't you just find a way to keep your green card active? But if you're a US citizen, you can live in any country, wherever you want, out of America, for even 50 years without informing the US government. Obviously, you have to file for the tax. For me, I can go anywhere. I can live anywhere. But for the US government, requires you, green card holder, to be here because you're permanent here. So you have to know those are some of the responsibilities. Number 6. Number 7. You must follow laws of the country. Anybody has to follow the laws of the country. But when there are certain types of crimes might lead you to your green card to be terminated. You are obligated to follow the laws of the country. Laws of the states, local jurisdictions, laws of the federal. There are so many crimes can lead to termination of your permanent residence status. You will save jail time, and after that you get deported. You'll get deported automatic. But if you want not to be deported for any reason, become a US citizen. No matter what crime you are going to commit, you will continue to be a US citizen. You will never be stripped out your citizenship. So that is something you need to know. That if you want, I can provide the list of certain crimes, but you have to know that if you're a green card holder, you are supposed to be very careful. Just like international student, so many crimes will be deported, go back to your country. Green card holder, you can be told to do that. But if you cross the line and become a US citizen, that window is closed. You will never be deported to go back to your own country, because this is your country now. You are fully inter-American citizen, and that you'll be having certain responsibilities of as a US citizen. But up to the time you are still a green card holder, those are responsibilities, expectation, accountability, and responsibility of the green card holder. So those are the things you need to understand, so that don't come later, oh, I didn't know I was deported. I didn't know I went to jail. I didn't know whatever. So these are some of the things can cause you to be deported as a green card holder, can give you a jail time as a green card holder. So ignorance of the law is not the defense of the law. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.